She killed 2 people. Escaped prison. A new documentary just changed everything. 2 dead. Prison escape. Now a documentary says she's innocent. October 24th, 2000. Indianapolis, Indiana. Sarah Jo Pender, 21 years old, lives with her boyfriend Richard Hull in a small apartment. They have 2 roommates. Andrew Cataldi, 24. Tricia Nordman, 25. That night, something goes wrong. Argument. Fight. Then gunshots. Andrew and Tricia are both shot. Multiple times. Dead. Sarah and Richard dump the bodies in a dumpster behind the apartment. Within days, police find the bodies. Start investigating. Richard Hull cracks almost immediately. He tells police, Sarah made me do it. Says Sarah manipulated him. Controlled him. Convinced him they had to kill Andrew and Tricia. Richard takes a plea deal. Testifies against Sarah. Gets 75 years. Sarah goes to trial. The prosecution paints her as a master manipulator. Cold. Calculating. The prosecutor calls her the female Charles Manson. Says she didn't pull the trigger, but she orchestrated everything. Manipulated Richard into doing it. The jury believes him. 2002. Sarah Jo Pender is convicted of 2 counts of murder. Sentenced to 110 years in prison. She's 23 years old. Sarah maintains her innocence. Says Richard acted alone. That she had nothing to do with the murders. Nobody believes her. She's sent to Rockville Correctional Facility, a women's prison in Indiana. For 6 years, she's just another inmate, serving a life sentence. But Sarah? She's planning something. 2008, Sarah befriends a prison guard, Jamie Long. They get close. Really close. Long is married, has a family, but he falls for Sarah, and Sarah convinces him to help her escape. August 4th, 2008. Jamie Long is working his shift. Sarah walks out of the prison. Just walks out. Long drove her away in his truck. And just like that, Sarah Jo Pender is free. The FBI gets involved. U.S. Marshals. Massive manhunt. Sarah Jo Pender becomes America's most wanted woman. Billboards. News coverage. Everyone's looking for her. But for months, nobody finds her. She's hiding in Chicago. Changes her appearance. Dyes her hair. Stays low. December 2008. 4 months after the escape. Police get a tip. Someone recognizes her. They raid an apartment in Chicago. Sarah Jo Pender is arrested. Again, Jamie Long, also arrested. Convicted of aiding a criminal. Sentenced to prison. Sarah is sent back to Indiana. This time, to the Indiana Women's Prison. And everyone thinks that's the end of the story. But it's not. For the next 17 years, Sarah fights her conviction. She files appeals, petitions, requests for resentencing. All denied. But Sarah doesn't give up. And here's where things get interesting. The original prosecutor, the one who called her the female Charles Manson, his name is Larry Sells. 2024. Over 20 years after the trial, Larry Sells does something shocking. He comes forward publicly and says, I have reasonable doubt that Sarah Jo Pender committed these murders. The prosecutor who convicted her now thinks she might be innocent. Why? Because Richard Hull's story never made sense. Richard said Sarah manipulated him, but he was bigger, stronger, had his own criminal history. The evidence? Circumstantial. No physical evidence tied Sarah to the murders. The bullets came from Richard's gun, and Richard had a motive. Andrew owed him money. Sells says he realizes now. Richard manipulated the system, blamed Sarah to save himself. December 2025. Sarah files another petition, asks to be resentenced to 45 years instead of 110. With time served, she could be released soon. January 2026. A judge reviews the case and denies the petition. Sarah stays in prison. 110 years. But the story doesn't end there. February 19th, 2026. Hulu releases a new documentary, Girl on the Run, the Sarah Jo Pender story. The documentary goes deep. Interviews everyone. Sarah, her family, Richard Hull, the original prosecutor Larry Sells. It lays out the case. Shows how Richard's testimony was the only evidence against her. How he got a lighter sentence by blaming her. How the female Charles Manson label stuck. Made the jury see her as a monster. The documentary asks, what if she's innocent? What if a 21-year-old girl has been in prison for over 20 years for a crime she didn't commit? The prosecutor who put her there now has doubts, but she's still in prison. The documentary ends with Sarah still fighting, still maintaining her innocence. And viewers are left with a question. Is Sarah Jo Pender a cold-blooded killer? Or is she the victim of a system that believed the wrong person? As of March 2026, Sarah Jo Pender is still in prison. She's 46 years old now. She served 24 years of her 110-year sentence. The documentary has reignited interest in her case. Some people believe she's innocent, that Richard Hull manipulated everyone. Others still believe the original verdict, that she orchestrated the murders. The original prosecutor has doubts, but that doesn't overturn a conviction. Sarah's only hope now is clemency, or another appeal. But Indiana's governor hasn't shown interest. And the legal system? It's already denied her multiple times. So she waits. Cataldi, Tricia Nordman, both 24 and 25 years old when they died. Their family still believes Sarah is guilty, still want her in prison. Richard Hull, serving 75 years, still blames Sarah. Jamie Long, the prison guard who helped her escape, served his time, released. And Sarah Jo Pender, still in prison, still fighting. The documentary asks us to reconsider, to look at the evidence again. But here's the thing about the American justice system. Once you're convicted, proving innocence is almost impossible. Even if the prosecutor who convicted you changes his mind. Even if the evidence was always weak. Even if you escape prison and get caught and come back and fight for 20-plus years. The system doesn't easily admit mistakes. So Sarah sits in prison, guilty according to the law, innocent according to some, and the truth? Somewhere in between. This is the story of Sarah Jo Pender, the female Charles Manson, who might not be a killer at all, the woman who escaped prison for 4 months, and the case that refuses to die. February 19th, 2026. Girl on the Run is streaming on Hulu. Watch it. Decide for yourself.